Saturday. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, episode 89. Why do I laugh when I say this? Gives me an opportunity to just take a second. What a ride, what a journey. We're just getting warmed up. Big Dave, I see you, you sex turtle. Bringing you one right now. How handsome is this cat gonna look? To be determined. Is he gonna outshine me? Absolutely. Mom, good to see you. Everybody say hello to Helene Siegel in the chats. Big Dave, bring you one right now, you sex kitten. World Cup. USA, baby. There he is.
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Everything is great. It's good to see you, as always.
It's great to see you. I want to illuminate an issue. We lost our guest, I assume?
Yes, but we have a new one.
Oh, I didn't know that. Who's coming on?
We're bringing on Brian Covey. My team reached out to your team. They should have told you. But yeah, we lost our original guest.
Oh, nice. Brian Covey.
Yeah.
You say Covey, I say Covey.
Either one, right?
Anyway, man, I'm back from Saudi Arabia thinking about you. I brag about you all the time because I think you are the atypical future superstar, and that a lot of people don't know what it takes. And you are like a handful of clay. You're moldable. You are flexible, but yet very stern in your being. And man, I wish every single person that I coach understood what you do in order to execute on the shared visions and advice that me and other people give you.
Receive all of that. Thank you so much. Genuinely touches my heart. I love you. And it's funny because I noticed, because I observe that a lot of people that you work with have pitched you and approached you about shows. And like you said, I don't know if they realize everything that goes into it, but best of luck to them. And there is a lot behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, I mean, I had, like you said, I didn't know. I just thought it was going to be you and I today, and didn't know. But you're dealing with one show and trying to get one guest on the show, and you know how difficult. Imagine, right? We average about 12 a day, 12 interviews a day, either giving or receiving. And imagine logistically how many people, how much effort, but beyond that, what it takes to be there every day. And it takes a lot. I mean, we were coordinating. I think it was 3 a.m. Last Saturday when I was in Saudi Arabia to get this done. And I don't think a lot of people prioritize the right things, but yet they want to be where we are and where we are going.
100%. Yeah, beautifully said. And we do it to give back and to provide a great opportunity for everyone to tune in and get some nuggets. That being said, let's get nuts right now. First of all, you're going to watch World Cup or no?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It's 1-0 Netherlands. So we'll see what the USA is made of.
Okay. All right, good. Let's get nuts right now. I was looking at your content this morning, and I saw so many nuggets. And obviously, we have to be selective because we're going to bring on Brian. But one of the ones that you talk about, which is so cool, because everybody has dealt with this in some capacity, and I think we could all use a little bit of information on it. You can either make it your excuse, or you can make it part of your story.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things, right? And it has to do with accountability and participating in the perception of the past, which means giving the right meaning to the past and the trajectory of where you want to be in the future, and executing on that trajectory by doing the right things today, doing the best things today, learning the lessons today, and having fun today. And when we understand that it takes those daily practices, the ability to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of that potential, of that trajectory of what we think we want, it all stems from this idea that you are not punished, right? You are not punished. You are promoted and protected by the meaning that you give the defining moments of your past. And if we can put together the past, the present, and the future, using time as that dependent variable in order to effectuate efficiencies, effectiveness, statistical success in our activities you have planned, don't have planned, sleep, activities you get paid for, activities you don't get paid for. If you do all of this, and I know there's a lot just thrown into that mix, you don't think that comes by accident. That comes from 16 years of daily enjoyment of pursuing my potential and learning the most that I can every single day to change the meaning of my past to make sure it's aligned with, synergistic and supplementary to a future that I think I want, but yet maintaining an open mind, an open heart, and open hands to change that mind, right? I always talk about, we're hiring so many people. I hire people that are hypocrites, right? People that change their mind. Why? Because people that change their mind are learning something. They're not closed-minded. And if you don't think the world is changing and you don't think you need to change as you input data into your system aligned with and supplementary to where you think you want to be, then you're making a big mistake, my friend. You're never going to get the acceleration and growth that a Craig Siegel, the eagle, gets. You're going to be flying with the pigeons, not with the eagles.
You're in rare form today, and I love every second of it. And talk about a paradigm shift, right? Like, it's the why me as opposed to try me. And this is something that it took me a little while to figure it out, and then I reinvented myself and so forth. But for everybody that's absorbing this right now, you can never really be crushed if you maintain that mentality that you are being protected and propelled. And even though you may not be able to identify it at the time, you just know there's a greater purpose for this. And then you can never really be crippled, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, most people on earth don't lose $100 million or more. I've been blessed with that opportunity to challenge myself to find the light, the love, and the lessons, and what would destroy and has destroyed so many people in their lives, losing everything. And it's not the amount of money. You know, I talk to people all the time that I coach, and they're like, oh, you know, I went bankrupt, I lost everything, not nearly as much as you. And I'm like, whoa, 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 slow down. Losing everything is losing everything, right? There's no difference. You are at a financial bottom, and you have a decision to make to extract the light, the love, and the lessons from the acknowledgement of not having it anymore, which is the proper definition of acknowledgement, to acquire the knowledge of an experience, to acquire the knowledge of a circumstance, to acquire a knowledge of a relationship. You need to not have it anymore. There's an old saying, right? You let somebody go and you'll know, you know, if there's love there. That's acknowledgement. Acquiring the knowledge is the ability not to have what you had before, whether it's lost, stolen, manipulated, cheated, or even just given away.
You really are a beautiful bunny rabbit. It's unbelievable. We're going to bring on Brian right now. Is it Covey or Covey? We're about to find out.
You say Covey, I say Covey.
Brian's a great guy, super
He's
successful.
fantastic.
And just an awesome human.
He's so handsome, too.
And that's the problem. I know.
Yeah.
Now
benefit. He's being punished by that good-looking exterior. People overlook the interior grit that he has.
Oh, I love you so much. It's concerning.
There, look, did I tell you, has his USA shirt on? Nice.
Brian, how you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us on such short notice.
See, what's okay? I mean, it wouldn't be for anybody else because the middle of USA, Netherlands, there's not many people. I'm breaking away. I'm like, we're gonna do this though because you guys are making a big impact. You make a big impact in my life. So I'm like, let's give back, man. Let's do it.
Well, my TV's right over here, so if you see my eyes move, I'm just checking the score.
Yeah, same. If it's your way.
Well, I love it. Brian, you and I connected yesterday on your podcast, and we've been friends ever since we met at a live event. So much love and respect, you brother. We're going to dive. And for the audience that might not be familiar, do a deep dive. We're just going to get nuts right now. One of the things that you've been talking about lately, Brian, I've been checking out your content, is getting in the game, right? And how important is that mentality?
Yeah, for me, I started as an athlete. Those who don't know my story, right? So soccer was my pathway to stay out of trouble, stay off drugs, to really get out of my hometown, and paid my way through college and then a little professionally. And I tell everybody, I could recognize people that got in the game and those that went through the motions. They actually self-selected, whether they knew it or not. They actually put themselves on the sideline of life. It's no different from sports into what you're doing today. And what I found in my life, there were patterns and seasons. I allowed myself to sit on the sideline. It was me. No one else was going to come save me. Nobody else was going to say, hey, Brian, it's your turn. Do you want to get in the game? And so I had to make a decision. And we all have that opportunity every day. Are you going to get in the game, or are you going to sit on the sideline? I chose to do that in the last 5 years, that I've been much more intentional about that. You guys know this. The growth is then exponential. People come in your life that you need, that you didn't even know before. And you start to attract people that you're like, wow, I'm in a game that I wasn't even in before. And that's when it becomes fun.
Dave, why am I sponsoring you right now?
Yeah, because I think there's so many people that have the skills, the knowledge, and the desire, but don't understand the nuance, which Brian's discussing right here, which is one that I define as empty mile, right? Everybody goes the extra mile every once in a while. You don't make a college soccer team or go professional if you aren't going the extra mile every once in a while, right? But the problem is people that don't understand the nuance, the subtlety of the empty mile, going the extra mile every day. Going the extra mile every day is a big difference. See, most people in life that have great skills, knowledge, and desire, like Brian, they go the extra mile every once in a while, use it to justify why they're not where they want to be. They use the extra mile, they use their skills, their knowledge, and desire to justify why they're not where they want to be. Where other people that may have even less skills, knowledge, and desire, but go the extra mile every day, end up getting the compound interest, the aggregation of behavior. The same as interest, the same as money. Behavior and money are both energy, and it aggregates and compounds. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, read Einstein. Understand the rule of 72. It applies to behavior, good behavior and bad behavior. And Brian is an expert, especially over the last 5 years, at illustrating and illuminating what it does to go the extra mile every day.
I love a good bromance and talk about the same frequency. This is all David's. No coincidence here. The perfect guest at the right time for the audience to listen to this stuff. And Brian, another thing that I see you do really well, and for a lot of us entrepreneurs that are also out there in like an influencer capacity, as human beings, it's hard to not help or wonder what people are thinking about you as you continue to show up. You've really made an emphasis to not wonder so much what other people think of you. Dave, you do that too. What is that strategy to not worry about what other people are thinking as you continue to show up as the best version of yourself, Brian?
Man, let's be real. I was a massive people pleaser for most of my life until I realized that most people are so consumed with themselves and what they're trying to accomplish that my goal and my part of their journey was to impact them through influence and motivation and give them the skills and share some of my story. And so what I started to do is show up as, hey, I'm going to share everything that I'm going through, pull back the curtain and share exactly what's happening. And so when I started to post from a place of, hey, here's what I learned this week. Here's a belief that I had that I've changed. I think when you become relatable, you're someone they go, man, I can relate to Brian. Brian has been there. You've been there. And I think what it also does, Craig, this is where most people miss the mark, I believe. I know I did. When you start to share that, you go to a deeper level of truly understanding the lesson. It's not surface level. You didn't read it, you applied it, and then you realize the huge impacts in other areas of your life, right? So I'll give you an example of when you start to realize that you're lacking discipline in your fitness. Probably for many people, they probably lack discipline in their faith, their finances, or somewhere else, because that is truly the way that your mind and your mindset has now wired you to think. Once you rewire that, you've unlocked a code for you to move forward. So I would say for anyone out there that you can relate to that people pleasing, when I moved into sharing my journey and wanting to truly connect with people, the world opens up and you start to see things. It's like the white car. If I tell you to go find a white car today, you're going to see it everywhere. When I tell you to look for things that you need to have in your life, I believe in that power of visualization, and you can manifest things when you're focused and stay focused on those goals.
I'm so proud of you, buddy. You are not playing around today. Dave, same frequency or what?
Yeah, your frequency is your neighborhood. And one of the words, nuances that I've been studying myself and paying attention and giving attention to is discoverability. I think I've gone through making things happen in my life, allowing things happen in my life, attracting things to happen in my life. Now I'm in the realm, a field of intention, of discoverability, that when I pay attention and give attention to things, they're discovered and I'm discovered at the same frequency. And that frequency is a neighborhood. And the more I can elevate by my behavior, by my discipline, by my strategy, by my awareness, the more I elevate my own vibration or frequency, the more discoverable I am for those that share that frequency or greater, or the more I can discover people who share that frequency or greater. One thing I want to add about being a people pleaser, because one of the interferences in my own acceleration of trajectory of what I think I want was this ability to worry and care about what other people think. There's a great line I learned, right? I'd rather people hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. And then two, you know, when you step into a stadium with 70,000 people, you have 70,000 opinions about you. You have 70,000 reputations. And then if it gets captured and amplified and modified out there into millions of people, you have millions of reputations. And there's only one reputation that you need to care about. It's the only one that is aligned with, synergistic, and supplementary to who you are, and that's your own. You're the only one that knows what goes on when nobody's looking. See, everybody else just has a snapshot of you. And that snapshot has a timestamp. And if you're growing, accelerating, expanding, not only is that snapshot not indicative of who you are today, but the timestamp itself relatively will give you a misperception, a different reputation than who you are. That's why we give meaning to the snapshots, the defined moments, inflection points. We have our own objectives. We don't worry about what other people think, what they want, what's missing, or what we don't have. We utilize this neighborhood of discoverability in order to effectuate surrounding ourselves with greater ideas and greater people. That's why I'm here for 15, 20 minutes every Saturday, because this frequency, this neighborhood is the one I like hanging out with, and it's well worth my time to help other people. We're like the Mr. Rogers of frequency, man. Come in, join our neighborhood. I just don't have a song yet, but I do have the sweater still. I got the tennis shoes. I can do everything but the song.
That was awesome, and I couldn't think of a better conversation at the right time. I know it's Saturday. I know it's a World Cup, so we'll land the plane with this final nugget. I think this is big for the audience, and selfishly, as I'm growing my brand and hiring and scaling, I'd like to know, because you guys do this so well. Dave, your brand is exploding. It's no secret. You love to hire, and Brian, you manage a ton of people. Brian, what are maybe one or two really important leadership qualities that anyone that leads people, or even their kids, can start to possess?
You know, I think in this season, the word that I've been clinging to that we can probably all relate to in seasons of our life is resiliency. There's something about a leader today that's resilient through great markets, down markets, whatever the news gives you, whatever happens, people joining, people leaving, you know, all the quiet quitting, resignation, all those things. If you're resilient as a leader, what I've found from that energy source, you can deal with whatever comes your way and you will show up as the best version of yourself. So I would tell you, when you get knocked down, it's that time stamp between when you get knocked down, how quickly do you respond? When something doesn't go your way, how quickly can you get your head back in the game, right? When that happens. And the last would be, look, as an athlete, those that are coachable. You know, Dave was talking about discoverability and those type of things. I think coachability today is a skill that's underrated. It can be taught, it can be learned, and you can amplify it. If you're 5 today, how do you get to a 6 or 7? Coachability is going to separate you throughout the journey. So when you look up in 5 years from today, you're a completely different version of yourself that you probably can't even imagine how great you can be. So I'd go with those two, resiliency and coachability.
I never heard you more on fire in my life, Brian, first of all. So there's that. And two things that you said there in regards to resiliency: don't react, respond. There's an art in that. And then coachability, like something that I learned, especially when I got into this space and I was working with Dave and so forth. Everyone wants to talk about your mentor, but are you a good student, right? There's an art to that as well. Dave, take us home.
Yeah, just align with that. And first of all, it's difficult for Brian because he's a 10. So it's difficult to get above that 10. And that's just not your looks, brother. It's that what's inside of you, which is at the top of the highest vibration or frequency or level. But for me, a leader is 3 things. It's an intelligent, intuitive, inspired follower. And let that sink into you, understanding intellect, intuition, and inspiration as a follower. We are more interested than interesting. We are kind to our future selves as leaders, and we must be an intelligent, intuitive, and inspired follower in order to lead. And that includes money, by the way. Money will follow you if you are an intellect, an intuitive, and an inspired follower. The money will follow you, the same as people, the same as all types of energy, as long as you have your attention and intention and what you want. Say, do, think, believe, and feel what you want, and I promise you, you will be discovered and discover more. I appreciate both you guys. Now let's go watch and cheer the USA to a comeback. Let's keep this party rolling.
What an awesome conversation. Dave, love you. Thank you as always. And Brian, thank you for joining us, brother. So much love for you. Can't wait to continue the friendship. Let's have a great Saturday, guys. See you next week for episode 90.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
Bye,
Appreciate
guys.
you guys. What a great Saturday.
Episode 90 coming up next week. Wow, what a treat. Guys, if you're not familiar with Brian, do yourself a favor. Go check him out. Follow me. He's a stand-up cat. He's a great guy. Super successful. You could do nothing but learn a lot by following Brian Covey. So do that. Thank me later. Big Dave, my partner in crime, as always. Wow, 90 episodes. Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving, you name it. Rain or shine, where you're traveling all over the world. just taking a second to acknowledge that 90 episodes coming up. It's an accomplishment in itself. Why? Because we fell in love with the process. Marry the process, divorce the outcome, and be available. You dig? Let's have an unbelievable weekend. Sharpen the axe, play chess, set yourself up for future success, and start thinking about big 2023 goals right now, and then reverse engineer them. What's step one? Step one was listening to this show today. Love you guys. Yeet.